And welcome back everyone. So we start off here with race one, the first race out of the three. And if you want, you can go and check out the last cup race, which we did the same thing, showed you a race previous that wasn't so good, didn't work out so well. As you can see here, we're in fifth place, last lap, and we are really struggling. We pitted in on the 20th, and as you can see here on the look at that, we have got no tread left at all. We've done well to stay at this point. Someone overtaking right now, so we're going to slip into their slipstream so they don't get too far away. Look, we can't even stay behind them. There's no grip. And as we go into these last two corners here, he runs wide. We don't get too bad of a turn, but as we come out, we hit them and slows us down a lot. And now we've got a guy making a move up the inside here, and as he taps me, I haven't got the grip to turn back in, get a bump, and then I get a penalty for that, and I actually get knocked back to 8th. So that's what happened in the first race, guys. Now we'll get into the second race. So here we go, second race, which was actually the last race of the three. And as we come into this first turn here, this car makes a move, which is fine. So we lose some momentum, and you've got a car there on the left, gives me a bump, I brake. We're on cold tires, not much I can do about that. I tried to get myself turned in, so we just carry on into the race. But as I said, we are still on cold tires, so it can just take anything, any little rumble strip, any little tap for you to lose the back end and slide out. So our main goal, because we're in the Porsche, we haven't got the top end as much as everybody else. We're going to try and stay in the slip as much as we can. If we can, try and stay in their slipstream for these first few laps, just get the tyres warmed up. We're going to go with the same tactic again as well, racing mediums up until the 21st lap, and then 9 laps on the racing soft. I'm not sure what everybody else was doing, but this was the tactic we used. Now keep your eye on 5th. As I said, tyres are still cold, and that is what can happen, just like that, straight into the wall. And he doesn't leave, he carries on, because we see him throughout the race, but can just take one little moment to mess your race up. Trying to stay perfect is hard, especially given 4 times tyre wear. We haven't got, the fuel ain't wasting down, so we haven't got to worry about fuel, but the tyres, they burn out dramatically. So stay tuned, guys, and watch this race. It's not the full race. We have cut out some laps where it's just laps of chasing people down, but again here we want to try and catch up with this Porsche, get into his slipstream as quick as possible, and work with him to catch the people in front. So as you can see now, we've made up a little bit of ground on the Porsche here, trying to get any slipstream, and coming around here, just trying to get back in with this mix. Still in fifth, not much has changed. And as we come around here, you'll see in a second, you can see we're really battling with these tires. They're already starting to lose grip. And we come over here and we're going to slow it down. Look at this. We do near on exactly the same as the Porsche in front, and then we get a 5-second penalty. I just don't understand that. It just, sometimes the track limits are a bit weird. It looked like we did exactly what the Porsche did in front, which doesn't help, because look at that. He's right on our tail there, right behind, half a second behind, coming down into the long straight, which again, I would have needed to be in that Porsche's slipstream to catch the group in front. That puts us back, and he goes through and takes 5th place. So we're going to fast forward you on now to lap 18, start of 19. And if you look on the left there, look at that. That is no tread whatsoever. And we know we need to pit in on the 20th, start of 21. So it's the start of the 21st lap, but we'll be on the 20th lap when we pit in. And that's basically 2 laps now to try and make sure we don't lose too much time from the pack in front, and we also don't lose too much time from the guy in 4th who's on a better tyre as they pitted in. So we just got to try and keep our pace up. Again, we haven't got no one here with us to even bump draft us or bump draft, because we're just in the middle of 2 different packs. And this is what happens when you have a long race like this with different strategies. People tend to be left in no man's land in a sense, and especially in the Porsche on these straights. I could do with someone to be able to bump draft or bump draft me to try and catch them guys up ahead. So by this point, as you can see, 3rd has got himself within 2.5 seconds there. Look at that. The time is just coming down. That's especially because I've got no grip on my tyres at this point. 20th lap, we're in 2nd, and 3rd is gaining quick. And there's a few cars with 3rd as well. So at this point, we don't know about the strategy. We're not sure if it's going to work. We don't know if 3rd's got to pit again. But what we do know is he's gaining right now, and he's about to make a move up the inside and take 2nd. There's nothing much we can do about that. We're not going to hinder his race. We're just going to keep our line and let him go through. Try and stay on the back of him there, and then we're going to pit in. And as you see here, look at this. We just go over the line there, and maybe there as well. And you know what that's going to bring us, guys. And there we have it. 3-second penalty. Just as we come out of the pits on fresh racing softs now, we want to start pushing, catch this guy in front as quick as we can, and get some bump drafting going on. At least definitely not lose any time to the people behind, which is about to happen, a whole 3 seconds, which really doesn't help our race out at all. As we're coming up to the end of the 24th now, guys, into the 25th, you see that guy there. That's the same guy from the first lap. Has slid off the track. But what's more important is we've caught up with 8th, and we're now within their slipstream. Try and get into that slipstream and push as hard as we can. We've only got 5 laps left. I don't know how much bump drafting can be used over the laps to catch, but there's not very many laps left. So we're just going to try and get as close as possible, bump draft down the straight, and see what happens. Look there, looks like they're starting to struggle on their tyres. We're really on their tail now, and you can see the pack isn't too far ahead there, up in front, maybe a second ahead, and I think that's all the way to 5th, 7th, 6th, 5th. Yeah, up to 5th place there, and as you see, we're right on their tail now. I'm going to give them some bump draft down the straight. As you can tell, the group in front is bump drafting as well, so it really doesn't help. This is the predicament that's best to be in throughout the race. Try and use the bump draft as much as possible, but we make a move up the inside here. As we see, they're struggling, and we move up into 8th at the 25th lap, 26th. So still, by this point, you can't tell how this race is going to end. What you're hoping for is people start fighting, as well as using the bump draft, start fighting each other, slowing each other down, which does actually happen here. Look, you can see we gained a little bit of time through there, and that's what we want as well. But when you get to the straight now, I'm in no man's land, and these guys are just bump drafting each other right down the straight. So we just got to keep our pace up and try and get as close to this pack as possible. So coming up to the last lap now, guys. This looks like we could maybe catch the Porsche in front. Look, as you can see, they're really struggling. That's why I waited one more lap on the mediums, and they actually pit in on the last lap, which is not a good move, to be quite honest. You should have some sort of strategy where you're on the compound a few laps before the end of the race. But last lap now, looks like 6th maybe our ending spot if 7th doesn't catch us and overtake, and they're right on our tail. If you look down there, we're losing traction there as well. We also race on traction 1. We also race from this view, guys, as well, chase cam, so I'm trying to use as much of the track there as possible. Look, we nearly run wide. Yeah, I use chase cam, so let me know in the comments what you use, how your race went as well, if you did do it. And 7th is really on our tail right now, and we've got minimal tread on that tyre. It is near on gone, and we're on the straight now, the last straight, guys, and this guy behind has the top end and is also in my slip as well. So as you can see, he's in a Lexus right there, right behind, and we brake, try and get the corner as best as possible. I don't think we do as good as them. They got a little bit more grip maybe. Look, we nearly hit them, and we end the race in 7th, but a little twist as 6th place maybe forgot to pit, so they ended up dropping back there to 8th, 9th, and we got 6 out of it. So not a bad result, guys. Please don't forget to comment, like and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next cup race. Take care.